Alright, let's go on to the ossuary. Wait, what? Yeah, I think from now on I'm going to start these videos in the middle of runs, because by now, you and I both have seen the first few stages plenty of times by now. Now I don't have the choice to skip them, but at the very least I can spare you that pain. So yeah, if I decide to go to the ossuary, I'll cut in there, but otherwise you probably won't see a video start from before the third stage, probably not even at the third stage, probably at the first boss. If I can't manage to make it that far, then either I'm just doing very terrible or I have a bad setup, and it's not really worth watching in the first place. So yeah, that's how I'm going to be doing things from now on. So I think I do have a pretty good setup this time. Magnetic grenade, biters, pretty good ranged offense, and good close range offense with my blood sword. So there are no other enemies near there. I think I might be just out of its range of attack if I'm over here. Yes, just barely. Wasn't able to rally that unfortunately, but that's fine. Let's see how good my magnetic grenade and biters are. Okay, they dragged that over to me. I probably should have expected that, but wasn't. Okay, that's good to know. So, good for dealing with it, but also a little bit risky. Let's see how just the biters do. They actually do a pretty good job. Okay, I'm not nearly as worried about that enemy type now. Ooh, you know one thing I just realized? One extra application that the magnetic grenade has? Since it continually drags enemies to it, I could probably use that to prevent teleporters from following me, and thus actually escape and find a moment to heal if I need to. I imagine that'll come in handy against elite enemies, assuming it drags them enough to actually do that. I don't have confirmation yet, so I should try and acquire that. And okay, there were scorpions in this stage as well. If I knew that, I had forgotten it, so I'll have to try not to forget it in the future in that case, because scorpions are assholes. But yeah, look at how much of a better time I'm having in this area now that I actually have a good setup going in. It's like night and day. Unlocking that magnetic grenade was the best thing that ever happened in my life. Alright, well there's cursory evidence that the magnetic grenade does prevent the teleporting somewhat. I'd like more confirmation though. One downside of heading into the ossuary, you don't have too many level ups. I've only had 3 thus far, that HP one and 2 skills prior, which results me in being a little bit squishy. Thankfully my skills are strong enough to make up for that though. Ooh, hourglass door. Ah. All that gold going to waste. It's not actually that big of a deal. I have 7k. Or no, 7.7k rather. That's how you'd say that. I'm not really worried about money at this point. Seriously, as long as I manage to make it to at least the first boss, I'm gonna have enough gold conserved for the next one that I really don't need to worry about gold drops anymore. That's kind of a game changer, honestly. I'll keep this in mind. I'm not going to risk it just yet. I'm going to see if I can get more level ups or better gear first. Alright, so that's one exit. I can head on towards the prison depths. Another asshole of an area. I'll keep that in mind. I'm assuming the other stage would probably be the ramparts, maybe the sewers. One of the other third stages I've seen already though, for sure. Yeah, I'll just let them deal with that. Ooh, let's see what that amulet's effect is. Could be good. 15% damage reduction, not bad, and collects cells and gold without needing to be in range. Decent. Not amazing by any means, but some nice quality of life stuff. And maybe that 15% damage reduction will prevent me from being one-shot by those exploding bats this time. Hey, that's one nice thing about this stage. It doesn't seem to have that enemy type. Just crawl down slowly and surely so I don't jump into a situation I'm not capable of dealing with. All damage taken is dealt to nearby enemies. Ooh, that's tempting. I think the damage reduction is better for my long-term survivability though. And this is definitely an upgrade. Even though I can't get tier upgrades with the Biter Swarm, those are way better random effects. Actually, literally any effects would be better given that the one I had was from the beginning and didn't have any, but still. Poison and exploding on death are really nice for this sort of thing. What's in the box? Perhaps a weapon upgrade? Ooh, the meat grinder. Perhaps this is the game telling me I should try it out. Nah, I like my Biter Swarm too much, and really if I do come across those exploding bats, the magnetic grenade will be a lifesaver, since it seems to automatically target them. Since the one that killed me because I didn't notice that, I want something on me that's capable of dealing with them without me having to see them first. And I'm thinking the magnetic grenade can fulfill that role handily. And since I have good skills, I'm gonna just make them even stronger. Yeah, it doesn't seem like the Slayer can escape at least from the magnetic grenade. Good. Okay, maybe I shouldn't get into the fray. The first damage I've taken in this level has been as a result of that. Ooh, Knife Storm. The fact that they pierce makes them really tempting. Let me see how they fare against these two. I mean, the bleeding's nice. I was able to take them down pretty quickly even though they only got hit by a single knife. I think though the magnetic grenade is just more generally useful. I'll probably try and branch out and use items that I'm not used to using more so in the future after I've done at least one successful run where I've actually managed to get to the end and beat the second boss. Until then, I'm just gonna go with what I know works and what I know I'm comfortable with. Game's just giving me a golden shower right here. Look at all this gold. And yes, I did say that on purpose if you were wondering. Yep, they seem unable to teleport if they're caught in the magnetic grenade. Fantastic. Of course, that could just be because of the AI of the Slayers. That's all I've tested it out against. The only teleporting enemy I've tested it out against. I'll have to try and fight that those teleporting skeletons or just a teleporting elite before I make that judgment with any more surety. That was close. Much too close for my comfort. In fact, I'm just gonna top off my HP with my other use. I still have one more remaining. But really, if I play my cards right, I shouldn't need to use that at all. Yep, just gonna lame things out here. Ooh, Stealth Scorpion. You nearly caught me off guard. What, there's nothing at the end of this passageway here? That's kind of lame. Nothing but eerie silence. There's the music. Took a while to show up. Wow, there were just a lot of scorpions here. It's Scorpion Central. I guess that's the price I pay for there not being exploding bats. There has to be at least one really aggravating enemy. It's a union rule. What union, you ask? Why, the Union of Asshole Monsters, of course. They ensure that asshole monsters get a part in every game. Otherwise, no one would hire them. Damn, though, this level's huge. Ooh, 50% off. Bleeding inflicts poison 2. I wonder if that refers purely to the bleeding of the throwing knife or all forms of bleeding, so even my blood sword. Definitely worth replacing that infantry bow. Ooh, that was close. Just gonna set it and forget it. Okay, so the blood sword just causes bleeding, so it's only referring to the item that the effect is on. That's what I thought, but I never had confirmation before. That effects that sounds like they could apply to other bits of your gear don't. This could be bad. Okay. That's what happens when I just jump into a situation without setting up my skills first. Ooh. Frost Blast could be useful, but I don't think it's going to be better than what I currently have. Twin Daggers, on the other hand. That's a definite upgrade. I like the Blood Sword and all, but Twin Daggers are just my kind of weapon. I like the DP is what I'm saying. It just looks so silly, the enemies being drug around by the magnetic effect, or dragged? Is drug the actual proper past tense? I'm not sure. But yeah, it just looks so goofy and I love it so much. I took more damage there than I should have, which is to say none, but that's fine. I feel like, yeah, I was about to say, I feel like I have to be near an exit by now, so that's the ramparts. I came across the other exit to the prison depths, didn't I? Yeah. I think I'll choose that one, since that's an area I haven't explored all that much. And I do need to learn what that place is about, so that way when I have a good setup, a good gear setup for the place, I know to go there. Nope, nope, nope. Not dealing with you. That's what my mites are for. Alright, is there any place I haven't explored? That was the hourglass door. That room up there, I guess, is a bit obscure. There might be something up there. Otherwise, though, I might be done with this place. Nice, I've actually completed the Ossuary. Almost. Let me just increase the likelihood of me actually surviving to the exit by using my remaining healing charge. I really don't want to die this close to completing it like I did in the Fog Fjord. Oh, that was the absolute worst. Yeah, this is a really nice setup I've got going on. I can throw my magnetic grenade and bite a swarm to take out one group of enemies while I deal with another group, or an enemy that rises up from behind to try and ambush me like that scorpion right there. It's kind of like co-op almost, except you're playing by yourself, so it's nothing like co-op. Alright, prison depths for the second time, right? I've only been there once, I'm pretty sure. That's where those asshole illusionary mages were. But now I have the setup perfect for dealing with them. Let's see, maybe I should focus more on the things I like using, rather than spreading out my upgrades. I always change my mind. Yeah, I'll increase the damage of the magnetic grenade, Because that's something I will always add to my arsenal, I think, regardless of what else I have at the time. Otherwise, I really don't need more healing or gold conservation, so I think I might leave those until way later. I'm comfortable with what they're at the moment, so... yeah, as much as I like them early on, honestly, freeze grenades aren't that great. Like, the freezing is nice and all, but there are so many better effects you can have in your grenades or skills in general. Same with the flashbang. It's interesting how your idea of what is good in this game evolves as you go along, and that's just kind of a thing with roguelites in general. That happened to me with Isaac. I never liked... what was an item that I didn't like early on, but then came to appreciate more as I got more skilled? Well, not an item per se, but I appreciated soul hearts as your health as opposed to regular health. Especially later on when regular health is pretty rare, so soul hearts aren't really putting you at a disadvantage, and it allows you to make use of so many more items as well that only proc when you're at low regular HP. I'm hoping anyone who's watched this plays or at least understands enough about Isaac to have understood what I meant there, because otherwise I just said a whole lot of nonsense. Okay, I said I wouldn't unlock any more shields, but not having that unlocked just bothers me. I'm hoping that it'll just take the place of a generic shield, and that adding more shields doesn't increase the chance that I get a shield as opposed to something else. That it goes, oh, you're gonna generate a weapon or a shield, and then it picks the specific type, rather than just picking of a pool combined of both, if that makes sense. Alright, but that's enough of nonsense words. Let's try the prison depths again. Starting off fairly tepid with some basic platforming. That's something else they need to improve is, I think I've said this before, but they need to add not only more bits of platforming, but more difficult bits. Because the combat increases as you go through the areas, but the platforming, not so much. And in a game where platforming is a fairly big thing, that's kind of a shame. Ooh, we have a secret area. Do I risk trying that out? I have a pretty good setup, but this could end up resulting in my death. I'm gonna risk it. Just gonna wait for my cooldowns. No need to be hasty. They give you, like, way more time than you could ever hope to need for these. At least in my experience. That said, I do have to worry about dallying too much. Ooh, this is tricky timing. Just gonna wait over here while those do their thing. Better safe than sorry after all. Yeah, just the way the shield guys get dragged around or occasionally getting hurt, that just causes a chuckle to rise from my throat. I'm not sure why. It's just so goofy. Alright. Gonna have to wait for them to pass by, then I can lob my stuff. Then a quick retreat to make sure I don't get hit, and booyah. What is it that's causing poison on them? Is that my Biter Swarms? I think it might be. Yeah, it's specifically why I went with that Biter Swarm upgrade, now I remember. It's such a good ability for that to have, because it just boosts their already ridiculous damage to absurd levels. Ooh, this is the most difficult platforming bit that there could be for me. Just this sort of alternating pattern of saw blades is just... I'm not mentally equipped to deal with that. Never have been. Thankfully I managed to make it through. Toss both of them and then let them get to work. Good. Alright. Hopefully I'm near the end. I'm running out of time. Oh, perfect. See, that's what I mean. Even if you go slowly and patiently, you still have plenty of time surplus. Poison enemies that hurt you. Is that worth... Nah, I like the convenience of automatically collecting golden cells. I mean, having enemies be hurt when they hurt me is nice, but really I should be avoiding damage in the first place, which is not what I did there. That was a difficult situation in general. I can't really toss my skills down there without venturing first myself. And see, that's why I wanted the magnetic grenade. That, unlike the bite of swarms, can deal with those exploding bats. I think I would have been one shot there if not for that. Oh, and there are plenty of them in this area. How did I survive that? I tried to escape back down, but I failed to do so with the proper precision, and so I got stuck up there. And then I kind of panicked. Somehow things worked out. Somehow life finds a way. Really, I should have just spammed attacks and I probably would have been safer, but it is what it is. It worked out. Okay, let's see how my buddies are good at taking out these asshole machines. Because they are the enemy that I've had the most trouble with, and they're pretty good at taking them out. Surprisingly, despite the fact that they seem mostly mechanical, they can be poisoned. Seems a bit odd, but I'm not complaining. Damn though, they are hardy sons of bitches. They take like 2 or 3 times as long to kill as most of the other enemies. Ooh, this is another less than stellar situation. You know what I should do in this case? Toss a grenade down here. Well, not down there. I'm gonna wait for the cooldown. I didn't realize it would bounce all the way down there. Toss it here so it affects them. Then wander up, bite a swarm, and then retreat. That would have gone better if I hadn't screwed things up. Alright, there goes my last healing flask. Just want to approach this careful-like. Okay, I'm good for now. Right, I haven't been making use of my throwing knives, which is my bad. I'd be having an easier time if I had been, probably. As I said before, there's always something I have in my setup that I always forget about and fail to use. I'm just gonna be patient here. Ooh dear. That's not something I want to deal with. Oh wow, it's actually been a while since I've acquired any level ups. Probably a reason why I'm feeling a little bit weak. Like, not super weak, my skills are still pretty OP, but my actual, like, weapon offense is not the best. Okay, so right here, Magnetic Bomb, I hurt the Explosive Bat, which is the most dangerous one, and do a pretty good amount of damage to these jerks. In fact, if I'm patient enough, it's probably worth just lobbing those repeatedly rather than venturing up and risking my hide. As long as I have the time, I can take them out with complete safety. As I said a few runs ago at this point, I think, my biggest enemy is my impatience. That is always what gets me killed, because I rush into a situation that, had I done so more cautiously, I would have survived. Like right here, I'm going to risk doing the stomp, even though it only saves me like a second or two at the most. And if I had mistimed that slightly, I might have just died there. Oh wow, it seems the game is, giving me all sorts of level ups now. I guess it, heard my snarky comment. And wanted to prove me wrong. What is this? Cluster Bomb. That sounds like it could be fun. Ooh. It's my first fog mage, asshole. Thankfully, with this setup, I don't need to see enemies to deal with them. Although it does help. Where is that fog mage? I need to find out so I can take him out and make this easy on myself. That's not him, that's a Slayer. Let's see. Oh, did I inadvertently kill it with the magnetic grenade? I think I might have. The fog effect seems to be gone. Well, I ain't gonna complain about that. Ooh, you are tempting me so much. Horizontal turret with poison damage and biters. I could get rid of my magnetic grenade and it would help. But again, I need something specifically for dealing with those explosive bats, and horizontal turret just wouldn't do it. Not as reliably as the magnetic grenade. I have to choose my gear setups to account for my own disadvantages as a player. Maybe I should go with a little bit more HP just so I have a chance of surviving the explosive bats. Nah, the magnetic grenade seems to be doing pretty well at protecting me, so let's give him a little bit of food. Here I am anthropomorphizing my skills. Ah, there's an asshole fog mage. I nearly wandered right into the lion's den. It worked out though. Nope. I thought about heading in to take him out more quickly, and then I realized that would be a mistake. Cowardice is the best strategy in this game, as I have learned as of late. You can afford to be aggressive and go in with your melee attacks earlier on, not so much later on when you have all these really dangerous enemies to deal with though. I know this is a third stage, and thus, just following the pattern, it's going to be larger than most of the others. But damn, I can't believe this stage hasn't ended yet. Have I even found a single exit? No, I have not. And really, looking at the map, it's not quite as large as I made it out to be. It is still pretty large, though. Very, winding. Design-wise, looking at the map, it's clear to me what this stage's gimmick is, and it's basically just a gauntlet. You don't really have any alternate pathways. You can't avoid any of the encounters. You just have to take them head on. A bit less so if you have skills that can attack from afar, but you know what I mean. It's a straight shot gauntlet. Ooh, there's an amulet over there. That could be useful. There could also, however, be enemies hiding in the fog, and don't think I don't see you, Mr. Bat. Can I just take care of you from there? Good. Thankfully the fog mages aren't all that strong, so they're not difficult to take out. Oh, the sarcophagus probably leads to that room. Yep. Oh nice, the magnetic grenade even draws the enemy's grenades, so they can't hurt me. Let's see, less damage reduction. Jumping more could be helpful, but again, I just really like the convenience of automatically drawing currency to me. Not having to worry about picking it up is just, it's so convenient. Kinda wish it was like that automatically, honestly. I feel like quality of life stuff like that should be available by default, but that's just me. That nearly ended poorly, and I don't actually have healing. I should have just stayed here and rallied. That would have been better for me. Oh boy. Okay. Let me just have a moment to collect my thoughts. And to disable F-Flux from activating so it doesn't dim the colors of my screen and make everything freeze for a few seconds. That would not be fun to deal with in this game. Have I come across any healing I could purchase? I don't think I have thus far. I've actually not come across any merchants at all. That could be another gimmick. Fewer merchants in this stage. Oh, well, it's nice to see that coming here got me absolutely nothing except HP loss. That's great. Alright, I didn't check this left path over here. Maybe that's where the merchant is. Alright, well, it's not healing, but it's more health, so that'll help if I manage to survive long enough to make use of it. Oh boy, come on. Merchant with food, merchant with food. I never thought I'd be asking for that, but here I am. I'm not even gonna say anything about that shield. That's how much I don't respect it. That was close. That's what I get for not just automatically, preemptively tossing my magnetic grenade. Which I will now do so in the near future, unless I forget. And that'll be the moment I die, probably. Because yeah, at this point, I don't think I can take a single hit. It's like I'm under the effect of the curse, except with nothing else to show for it. Oh dear. Just gonna toss one of those, just to be utterly sure. And again, that's the downside of the magnetic grenade, is that it can end up dragging enemies to you if you're not careful with its position. You have to pay for the sheer power it provides. Still no exits, although there might be one up here. Nope, but it's a merchant. What do you have to offer? Not really interested in any of this stuff. If you were stocking food, I'd probably partake in that, but I'm happy with my loadout. I doubt I'm going to be switching out anything anytime soon, unless it's the same item, but better.